What's up, YouTube and Talkbase? This is username Kaput Sport coming back at you with a pedal review. Now this one's going to be interesting because the last time I did a pedal review here was actually just a couple days ago when I received my Human Gear Animato copy in the mail, and we put it up against a real Animato and found out that it fell short, but it is capable of some of the same tonalities. This one's not going to be a clone versus a real pedal. This is actually going to be the exact same pedal against the exact same pedal. There are some slight differences and some folklore that go along with it. We're talking about the Boss OC-2. Back when it was created and it was sold, it originated as a made-in-Japan Octaver. Like, it was the actual name. They shortened the name to just Octave and put OC-2 on the casing. They continued to build them in Japan for a long time. Then they switched it over to Taiwan. And Taiwan kept making them for a long time. Some people say there's absolutely no discernible difference between these two pedals. And some people say that they are as different as pie and cake. I don't know what everybody's saying. I do know the little limited research that I did last night showed that some people who have had both versions have said that they sound exactly the same, but they never had both versions sitting in front of them. So I'm going to go through and show you a couple different popular settings using both pedals and what they actually sound like. Now for this test we're going to be using the Padula Rapture RB4 single pickup, 12-foot monster cable into the first OC-2, which is connected to the second OC-2. Each of those two pedals is connected with a George L cable. I have no added noise, I have no pops, no zings, no nothing from each of the pedals. And I'm going to give you a sample of the dry tone here in a second, and that is directly connected to the Marshall 7200 dynamic bass system head. And we're only going to use one cab for this test, and we're going to use the 4x10 with a tweeter. And the reason that I'm doing that is because I want to make sure that if there's any added dirt, any added grit, any type of warbling, it's a little bit more clear. Using a single 15 might also show the same things, but I think with the piezo horn, we're going to get a little bit of that extra in there, so you could definitely tell over the camcorder microphone what this is. So first up, we're going to do clean tone. This is the bass through the pedals, but they're both turned off, into the Marshall. And the Marshall bass tone is going to be set at about, let's go, 10 o'clock. For this test, we'll turn the graphic EQ off. Both low and high are at 12 o'clock. Bright and deep switches have been pushed in. Preamp blend is at full tube, no compression. And this is our clean tone. So here's clean bass tone. This is dry through OC-2 number 1. And this is dry through OC-2 number 2. Okay, this is OC-2 pedal number 1. Now I don't know if you could hear that. As soon as we started getting down to the A or the E string, it started to break up a little bit. And we're going to go through the tracking of the pedal here in a little bit. We're just going for tonality differences right now. So that was OC-2 pedal number 1, and here is OC-2 number 2. Well, I hear a difference. Can you? So OC-2 pedal number 1. Up. Okay, so OC-2 pedal number 1 failed to get F on the E string. So first fret on the E string, which is odd because a lot of people say don't track below A, and I got G to play fine. In my opinion, it played respectably. But F was a little glitchy. It was the start. So F, F sharp is probably the limitations of the pedal. Now we're going to see what OC-2 number 2 sounds like. Well, that's weird. I got a little glitch at A, so let me see if I can get A to ring clean before going any further. Let's do the same test with OC-2 number 1. Well, I've got some glitching there too. I think prolonged notes might be different. Let's try a held A, like a fretting an A. We're going to go with OC-2 number 2 first, and we're going to fret the fifth fret on the E string. Let's try OC-2 number 1. Well, they both seem to wig out a little bit on either of those two settings. They sound very, very synthy digital. Okay, OC-2 number 2. So far, from what I can tell, I'm not playing any differently. I'm in my head, and in what my ears are telling me, is that the OC-2 pedal number 2 seems to be giving a little bit more of a geek out than OC-2 number 1. It seems like OC-2 number 1 is a little more stable in the tracking, but once again, we can't really tell 100% until we give this the real college try. First up is OC-2 number 1 and the Animato. Animato OC-2 number 2. Prunes and Custard into OC-2 number 1. Into OC-2 number 2. Try OC-2 number 2. Not bad. Octave into Prunes and Custard. OC-2 number 2 with Prunes and Custard. number 1 into ZVEX Mastotron. OC-2 number 2 into ZVEX Mastotron. You get the idea there. So let's try it with OC-2 number 2. Okay, so here is OC-2 number 1. Or is it? Another pedal. And my dry tone. So we know that works. Okay, here's the first octave pedal into the Human Gear Animato. Second of the 2. This one will be fun. Here is Prunes and Custard into Mastotron with an OC-2 in the front. Here's the other OC-2. Well, we've got some results for you guys. Now, both of these pedals performed very, very well, and I will say that the comparison between the two, for all intents and purposes, I wouldn't say there's much of a difference. If the difference in the price between one pedal to the other is $10 or so, I'd just buy the Japanese one just to be on the safe side. But if your budget's tight or you can't find one that says made in Japan on it, or somebody's inflated the price to some ridiculous number because it came from Japan and not some other place, then I would say go ahead and go with the Taiwanese made pedal, because there really isn't that much of a difference. I've noticed even in both setups with either pedal in front that the tracking issues that I've noticed in the past with the OC-2 that happen and start to happen around 5th fret E string or A on the E string, the tracking issues are more severe with the Taiwanese pedal than in the Japanese pedal. But you can review the sound clips yourself, and I'll let you know exactly what things are going on. When I said that I was using OC-2 number 1 into whatever chain or whatever else, whether it was first or second in the line, OC-2 number 1 was the Japanese pedal. So when you're looking through everything, remember, OC-2 1 is Japanese, OC-2 is the Taiwanese pedal. Both performed very well. For the money, I would not pay an inflated price for the Japanese pedal. But that being said, I wouldn't necessarily say don't buy the Japanese pedal because there is no difference. I think that the Taiwanese pedal sounds exactly the same, creates the same tone, that subharmonic, almost square wave, ring modish kind of sound. Which is really, really cool. They both do that equally well, and there is no way to change the volumes on them unless you turn octaves up and down. The Japanese pedal is a little bit lighter in color, and it also has a few variances in the case design, which I can show you right now. Between the two, like I said, one's lighter than the other, and one has some differences here. Here is the two pedals. I'll put them in order here. This is OC-2 number 1. And this is OC-2 number 2. Now, the color difference you probably won't be able to tell on camera because of the way the light's hitting it. But in person, I can definitely tell a difference in these, just sitting in the same shadow, that this one is lighter. You can see there's no difference in the screw. Some of the older ones may have had a silver screw. Whoopity-dee. The knobs and everything are the same. The readouts are the same. They both have input, output the same place. The real difference comes in here. Power jack on the Japanese is down low on the bottom, and the power jack on the Taiwanese is up high, and thus creates a cutout on the bottom of this one and has a solid panel on that one. Other than that, you can see they are identical in every way, shape, or form. There is one more thing you can tell with the Japanese pedal that you won't see with the Taiwan pedal. Again, this might actually be in the Taiwan pedal, and mine is missing it. But this is something that I don't really see many missing. I don't know if you can see it in there, if it's right there, but you can see there's a serial number and a sticker in there. And it says product of Roland, Japan. And that basically will tell you if it's a Japanese-made pedal. So if you go to a secondhand shop and you see that there's a Boss OC-2 in there, and it remarkably looks like mine, with no stickers, because anybody that puts Velcro on them notices that when you pull them off, it rips right off. If you don't see any of those stickers on the outside, and the guy says, oh yeah, it's just an old little OC-2, maybe open the battery door and see if you can find a Made in Japan sticker. It might help. You might get a couple bucks off. You might actually add a couple dollars. I don't know. But in closing, like I said, I don't see a major difference between the two pedals other than tracking. Tone is the same. I would get what you can afford for 50 bucks. Between the two, I would honestly pick the Japanese for $50. But if the price difference is $50 for an OC-2 that's made in Taiwan and it's $150 for a Japanese-made pedal, you can laugh and save yourself $100 because there's no discernible difference in the way that the pedal would perform under normal operating parameters within what the octave pedal was designed to do. So there you have it. That's the OC-2 roundup, the Japanese versus the Taiwan pedal. Stick around for more pedal reviews, and until next time, stay safe and keep playing.